The summer of cricket is back.
Outside edges there, well taken, yes. Finger goes up. Seifert reaching for a ball wide of off stump, trying to club it through to the offside. And inside and out, over long, off, sailing high, long, handsome stroke. 6 runs off the batter, Robinson.
They've run 2 and that's all they need to do to win the game. New Zealand draw first blood.
Live from Bay Oval in Tauranga, this is the Black Caps against Australia, the 2020 series for the Chappell Hadley Trophy on Sport Nation.
Kia ora, good evening, one and all from Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui, ahead of what we hope is the second Chappell Hadley T20 International between New Zealand and Australia. Australia holding a 1-0 series lead after a very powerful batting display. Saw them chase down 182 in quick time thanks to their skipper Mitch Marsh, plundering New Zealand to all parts. Unfortunately, right now, the prospect of a second game looks some way away because there's been lots of rain throughout the region throughout the day. And right now, as we look around the venue, there's some hardy souls who've arrived early. The umbrellas are up, the ponchos are on. If we look away towards the northwest, Mount Maunganui, we really cannot see it as it's wrapped in grey cloud. Looking at the rain radar, it looks like we're right on the edge of maybe the worst of it, and all going well, that will push off, and then it will be up to the grounds crew to not only get all the surface water off the heavy covers, but get the outfield up to speed. Quite remarkably, though, if you go down and touch the outfield, it feels dry, such as the nature of New Zealand cricket grounds now. They're really grade A, so we might get some form of cricket later. We will have a delay here, though. The last possible time we can start is exactly 3 hours from now, 10:01. That would constitute a 5-over sides match. Let's hope we have more than that, rather. Joining me in commentary this evening, you'll hear the voices of Tom Bartlett and Neil Wagner. Alongside me right now is Ian Smith. Smithy, good evening to you. Frustrating night ahead, one suspects.
Well, actually, in 2 nights we've had a real welcome to the cricket season, haven't we? We had a blockbuster game where there was some power hitting to really warm us up, and then we get the rain the second night. So it's everything we've had already in just 2 nights. I'm optimistic. I'm a bit glass half full in this regard. I'm looking away to the west side of things. Our good friend Neil Wagner, who's in with us tonight and tomorrow, has told me if you can't see the mount, we're in trouble. Well, we can only see at this stage half the mount looking out the window, but further to the left there's some quite clear patches, and if it's coming from there, I've got optimism that we might get some cricket tonight. As you say, we can sit around here till about 10 o'clock tonight. The players will be a bit terse and surly if they're made to wait that long and come out for a 5-over slogathon, because remember, we are playing for the Chappell Hadley Trophy, so that would be I guess it has to happen that way.
Doesn't quite sit right, though, does it?
Doesn't quite sit right, no.
The PGG writes in a pitch report, New Zealand's leading turf experts. Well, I've mentioned the outfield. It's quite remarkable. I went out and saw Jared Carter, the head groundsman, and I said, what do you think about the outfield? And he said, touch it. Just touch it. Put my hand on it. It's remarkable how dry it is, and just shows how improved our facilities have become over the last 20-odd years, Smithy. But the pitch itself a couple of nights ago looked a beaut for the 1st of October.
Well, it didn't seem to worry Australia when they went about chasing down New Zealand's target, did it? And New Zealand recovered very well. So there was a number of 4s and 6s hit, a really high ratio, which is perfect for what you want out of T20 cricket. The bowlers wouldn't have been happy with it at all. It was absolutely zip for them, no spin, no real seam, and just a hint of swing early on in the piece with the newish ball. But it was a very good surface, and even though it's been under the covers for pretty much all day today, it is the same pitch we're playing on because of the fact that it's only had 36 overs of traffic on it. So it's the same pitch, and if it held up well tonight, if we got some cricket, it would probably be the same pitch again tomorrow. Why not? I mean, it played its part beautifully well, so he's done very well, and the ground staff, as we look out the window now, are working very hard. Any surface water on the covers, trying to get off to the sides, and then they've got squeegees, all sorts of drainage out there to try and make sure that they're saying to those few people that are in so far, and us us up here that they're making a genuine effort, which is terrific. And can't do anything, of course. That's the nature of cricket until it actually stops raining. And the other thing, of course, is the players and the officials will have to be fully convinced of your outfield that you've been talking about with the grounds, that it's absolutely
I've probably put the mockers on, haven't I?
100% safe because of the cricket that they've got coming up this summer.
Yeah.
And the Aussies aren't going to jeopardise the Ashes or running around on a slightly slippery outfield. We look at away to the right to the grandstand now, and the lights are showing that it's drizzling fairly heavily again. So it's going to be one of those nights, I'm afraid. No wind. What the other night we couldn't stop talking about the wind, the equinoctial gales. And no wind today to blow it away.
Just for some note keeping, the time is 5 minutes after 7, so we've got about another 50 minutes before you start eating into overs themselves, and the gap between toss and the start of the game can be as little as 15 minutes. So we do have some runway as of now, but Smithy has described what we're waiting for: a break in the rain, which has been fairly persistent. A couple of heavier downpours throughout, and tomorrow's looking a little bit dicey as well, which is a real shame because really enthralling opening game, Smithy, I thought. The way Australia started, quite brilliant. 6 for the loss of 3. New Zealand cricket fans are probably thinking the worst there, but Tim Robinson, boy, did he make an impression. And, of course, a very important time because there's a World Cup looming.
There is a World Cup looming, and he put his name in lights, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if you look at the way the game was played the other night, one team hit the ground running when they bowled, one team hit the ground running when they batted. And that was a team that's been playing recent cricket.
Against good opposition.
Against South Africa in particular, in the north part of Australia, where they can play all year round, to be perfectly honest. But it looked like that as well. New Zealand just didn't quite hit the ground running in either discipline, and it cost them very badly at the top of the order with the batting. And they got out of it through Robinson in particular, and Daryl Mitchell as well played a good supporting role, which he quite often does. But in the end, it was never enough when you saw the quality. I mean, the two openers they've got, Mitchell Marsh and Travis Head, are just class acts. And they're very, very powerful and nifty and clever the way that they work the ball around the place. And then if they get one to hit, it just sails. It's gone. It's gone forever. And then we saw a little hint of Matt Short, who's a good player as well. You know, and the strength that they have when it comes to the depth in Australian batting. It is amazing. Steve Smith will probably come into the thinking when they pick their T20 World Cup squad. The one thing that New Zealand didn't do leading into the last World Cup, where they bailed out early, was they didn't have a great preparation. No,
and they've acknowledged that, haven't they?
They had to acknowledge it. It was poor. It was really poor, and they looked like it. And this in its way, we're still playing for the Chapel Hadley Trophy, just by the by. So it's very, very important in that regard. But these games are invaluable for that, against the very best, to make sure that you know and you realise what the barometer is and how much work you've got to do. And New Zealand got a bit of a wake-up call the other night. You know, this is a tough opposition to play first up, but, you know, you learn things, and we learnt a little bit about Tim Robinson. Again, you know, anyone that scores 100 against Australia under pressure, in my book anyway, is worthy of a seriously good look. And to me, I think he played himself into the World Cup with that innings the other night.
Yeah, New Zealand did very well to fight back. 90 odd for 3, I think it was, at the turn at 10 overs of that innings. I thought Zampa's contribution with the ball probably really important, and must have been awkward conditions for a spin bowler, but he went for a 6 first ball after that. But those sort of overs 10 through 16, they really didn't allow New Zealand to get their noses in front.
No, and when you look at the New Zealand bowling attack, they didn't have a similar option really. Michael Bracewell, who's still learning his trade as a white ball spinner and a test spinner, he's still got a lot of work to do. It takes forever to become an experienced spinner at international level, and he's had a late start, so it has not been easy. And you know, I know Wags has got some theories we were talking about at the back, so I'll leave it up to him what he perhaps would have done with the side. But going forward, when you go to India, there's the subcontinent in particular, there's always this thing in the back of your mind that slow bowling will dominate. Well, that's not the case these days, because India produce so many good quick bowlers these days. It's spin friendly, but not to the extent that it used to be. Sri Lanka again is another ground where, you know, with the heat it will turn at times, and it'll be probably slower than we're used to. So we've got to get that into our thinking in terms of the way we bat, but particularly the way we pick our sides when it comes to the bowling makeup. And we've got East Sodi floating around here, I'd be playing him. I would. Obviously, Mitchell Santner comes back into the reckoning as the white ball captain, so clearly he will be in the World Cup if fit. And then who?
Henry, Duffy, Jameson. They rotated all four, didn't they, with folks? Jameson, Duffy, Henry, the new ball bowlers, would you say? And maybe whether it is a Sodi or the out-and-out pace of a CS through the middle, is that one way they could potentially steer?
Well, it's all about balance, isn't it? You've got to balance, and you've got to make sure that you've got a decent batting lineup which can hit most of the way down. I mean, not just work the ball around, I mean hit. And that's what Seifert gives you. Tim Seifert, if he's in form, I'll be perfectly honest, I thought Tim had a pretty average night the other night, played a poor shot when he didn't have to play in the first over, put New Zealand under pressure, and then of course his glove work wasn't sublime. It looked a bit rusty, but he'll be better for that. And I think Seifert, to me, is in the mix because he is explosive. You've got to have match winners at the top of the order, and guys who, if they do bat 15 overs in an innings, go a long way towards winning you the game. Seifert is that kind of player. He hasn't had a lot of international experience compared to some, but he's a gutsy little fella. He's super confident in his ability, and I think he's the kind of bloke you need at the top of the order. So then you bring Rachin back in, of course. Rachin Ravindra comes back in and missed him the other night, but I like it, but there's a big question mark over our greatest ever batsman, numbers-wise, Kane Williamson. Where does he fit in? What is his desire? Is he breaking everything to try and be in that World Cup squad? Is it the burning desire still there? I would hope so. If it is, I think he makes the squad, and I'm not sure he plays every game, but I think he's in the squad for me. So far. But Robinson too. So I've given you Rachin, I've given you Seifert and Robinson at this stage. And
Finn Allen?
Finn Allen is...
Well, he was spectacular in our last summer, wasn't he?
At times.
But against the best...
I like Finn Allen's attitude, but his ratio of coming off. See, I think if you play 10 games, I think your top order players have got to come off 3 to 4 times minimum in that. And when I say come off, play match-winning type performances. So that's striking at just over 1/3% and allowing quite a few failures. Finn Allen, I think for mine, fits in the very lowest part of that bracket there. So I want to see him play. I need to see him play, and I need to see him come off more often. No doubt that he can win you games. No doubt he can take an opposition attack apart and put them on the back foot. Absolutely. And they're the kind of players you have to have in T20 cricket. Would you have Finn Allen or Kane Williamson?
Well, the experience of Kane Williamson will be undervalued by a lot of punters. Right, it is a youngish team, you'd have to say that. And if you get a tricky surface over there in Sri Lanka or India that spins, Kane Williamson's the master of that, is he not?
He is. If you're chasing a moderate total of 140, 150, 160, and they're low, very low totals by today's standards, he's the kind of guy you want because he can work your way he can do that for you. If you're setting up, you probably want it to be a little bit more frantic, a little bit more urgent than he has been in the past. But I think he's capable of that. He's got the shot range. He's been working on it. The Kane Williamson of old never used to hit the ball in the air at all. That was his great trademark. I mean, if you hit the ball along the ground, you can't get out caught, can you? I mean, that was a simple process. He was just so good at that. But now, of course, in T20 cricket, you have to invent. You have to hit the ball in the air, particularly in the first 6 or 7 overs when Williamson would be batting at number 3 probably. You hit it over the top. You have to learn to hit it over the top. And he's been good enough to adjust to that. The question is his strike rate going to be high enough for you? Is he going to be damaging enough for you? So, I mean, these are good questions. They're healthy questions because it's not like we have to have them because there's no one else.
No, there's an oversupply.
There is a supply of very talented players in this country. And, it might be a process. We'd like to think that we pick a side that can go and win. I mean, we need to pick a side that can do better than last time. Absolutely do better than last time. But have we got the players to go and win a World Cup on an even playing field? we'll see.
Kane Williamson, of course, has not played for New Zealand since the last T20 World Cup. Finn Allen, one we mentioned, only 5 games since that. But you get the numbers sort of make an argument for him, averaging 36, but the strike rate 211 in that. Oh, granted, you've got to assess the level of competition he did play against. But Robinson is if he can continue, we have a lot of people looking over their shoulders. Devon Conway's another one who needs to deliver if he's going to be there.
It's the value of an innings like Robinson's the other night. It gives a lot of players around the place a bit of a wake-up call to say, well, hey, this is not that. It's no cakewalk to just get in this side. You know, Tim Robinson made a giant step for me the other night because he did it against Australia. Okay, and
not every run is equal, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, you can probably say had he got the same kind of level of success against Zimbabwe about a month ago when they dominated and won that tri-series as well, probably that innings the other night is far and away more difficult to play under the circumstances we were at 6 for 3. So he had the maturity not just to get us out of it, but not to lose a lot of momentum. They're the kind of players that you need. So he as I said, he made a giant step the other night, and if he backs that up with another good performance later tonight perhaps, or certainly tomorrow, and in the cricket that we've got coming up against England, Robinson comes off 2 or 3 times in the course of the next month, he's got to be very close to making that side if not in it.
Of course, Santner, Bracewell are there. There's 2 spin options. Yep. Sodhi probably makes a 15. Or should we leave that for Neil Wagner to break down the bowling options?
Wags just walked in the back and he said, don't talk about bowling. It's pathetic if you think you can talk about bowling on white ball bowling and the bowling talent and the mix in this country. So we'll leave it to him, shall we?
Yeah, we will. Lovely tease. It is 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. There's a little bit more activity on the field. The rain has stopped, I think, and it's looking a little bit brighter. Smithy's pointing to the heavens. Is it some sort of red sky behind the thick cloud? That is a good sign. As we mentioned at the top, we're right on the edge of this rain band that is pushing away towards the southeast. Hopefully that will continue as the grounds crew now look to prep the outfield, and that's a good sign. Some of the stakes being withdrawn from the ground. Looks like the covers might not be far away from being removed. Stay with us here on Sport Nation, the summer of cricket, live from Bay Oval, Mount Maunganui, ahead of the second Chapel Hadley match. Best of 3 series, of course, Australia leading by 1-0. We'll take a short break, and when we return, Tom Bartlett will quiz Neil Wagner about the bowling options ahead of this busy time, all in the lead up to the T20 World Cup in India and Sri Lanka in February. First week of February, I think it starts. Stay with us, back shortly, 17 minutes after 7.
He's so impressive, but this time he's hit square of the wicket.
You're listening to the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. This is the Black Caps against Australia, the 2020 series for the Chapel Hadley Trophy, live from Bay Oval in Tauranga on Sport Nation.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
Big Barrel, your local liquor store. Hawke's Bay Brewing Co. Peach or Berry Bomb, Ginger or Lemon Fusion 4-pack cans, $17.99. Long White 10-pack bottles range, a hot 2 for $55. Tiger Ultra 12-pack cans, $23.99.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big Barrel, your local liquor store. When it comes to New Zealand sports turf, nobody knows it better than PGG Wrights and Turf. They've been in the industry for over 40 years, proudly supplying customers right across the country. From stadiums to golf courses, bowling greens to landscaping,
even through to revegetation and erosion control, their highly skilled team are well equipped in every aspect of the turf and environmental markets. So, for your next turf project, talk to New Zealand's experts. PGGRightsandTurf.com.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
This October, Night and Day has a deal that's delicious. All month, pastries are just $3. From danishes to apple turnovers to cinnamon swirls, it's a roll call of pastry temptation. So don't miss out. Grab a sweet or savoury treat at your local Night and Day this month for $3. And with over 50 stores nationwide, your next pastry fix is never far away.
Mate, did you get on the comeback last night?
Yeah, of course I did. TAB in play. Bro, odds were flying.
Oh, I always miss the moment.
Not with real-time stats. You see the momentum swing and get in before the scoreboard does.
Wait, so you're betting mid-match?
Yeah, live and in the moment. Whenever the odds swing, I'm on.
TAB, get your bet on. Available on selected sports and markets only. T's and C's apply. R18. Bet responsibly.
Get ready to experience the thrill of harness racing across New Zealand. With a packed program racing out of the gates every week in October. Enjoy Friday night lights to kick off the weekend and harness racing every Sunday. Whether you're trackside cheering or enjoying the action with family and friends, the excitement is contagious at every venue. Visit hrnz.co.nz for the full schedule. October Harness Racing, where passion meets performance.
We were going to demonstrate how a farmer like Jack here could use the Hawkeye mobile app to order fert from the middle of a paddock. But he's already done it.
Yep, all sorted. Only took a few taps.
So, I guess that's that then.
Yep.
The Hawkeye app by Ravensdown. The smart way to order nutrients so you spend less time on admin. Talk to your agri-manager or visit hawkeye.farm today.
Bunnings Trade is here to help you get indoor projects sorted with 134 Trade. For stock queries, order and delivery updates, quick quotes and pricing, or general inquiries, call the team on 0800 134 872. Bunnings Trade. Helping business is our trade.
It's 6 more to Mitchell.
Welcome back to the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. You're listening to live ball-by-ball commentary. This is the Black Caps against Australia, the 2020 series for the Chapel Hadley Trophy on Sport Nation.
It is coming up to 22 minutes past 7 o'clock on Sport Nation. This is the second Chapel Hadley T20 International.
Can you hear? Oh, there we go. We're up and running. It's 22 minutes past 7. Microphone off. Thank you, Daniel McCarty, for the first half volley of the night, which has been clubbed by myself. Absolute shocker. 22 past 7 at Sport Nation. This is the second Chapel Hadley T20 International. We are in a rain delay. Play was due to begin at 7:15, so 7 minutes after the scheduled start of play, and the players are not on the field. There is no sign of a warm-up. But the good news, I can tell you, is that the covers are starting to come off the main block. When we got to the ground a couple of hours ago, the entire block here at Bay Oval was covered in the big cover. Well, that cover's now been removed. We still can't see the pitch, the Hessian, and then the secondary cover that goes over the 3 centre pitches on the wicket is still covered. But the good news is that the rain appears to just be easing a little. The ground staff are busy moving the covers off the ground, and hopefully, in the next hour or so, I assume it's going to take about that to get this ground ready. But hopefully we may have some cricket. So good news at Bay Oval is that the covers are starting to come off the block. The rain is easing, and as I look on the rain radar, thanks to our friends at the Met Service, the band of weather that was blowing across the Bay of Plenty is moving away from Tauranga and this particular area. So if the rain radar is telling the truth, then there is just more patches of rain coming through, but perhaps not quite what we've seen in the last couple of hours. Good news at this stage. Former Black Cap Neil Wagner
is joining us on Sport Nation this season, and he's alongside me in the commentary box. Wags, so good to see you, mate. Welcome into Sport Nation. Welcome to Bay Oval, the ground you know so well. Right, now put your weather hat on. What's going to happen in the next couple of hours?
Thanks, Tom. Nice to be here. Well, first sign for me is if you can see the mount. At the moment, I can see the base of it. The top of it is still, sort of just hiding away with a couple of clouds there, which is not a good sign for me personally. But there is some cloud break. I can see some blue skies behind it a little bit, which is a good sign. Fingers crossed. Been speaking to the groundsman before coming up in here, and they know the conditions here pretty well, and they're very hopeful. They think at worst a 5-over game starting at 10:01 at worst. That means a late night for everyone, but hey, I'll be very happy to take that and see some exciting cricket hopefully tonight.
Certainly, as we look across the ground, you can see the ground staff. They're busy. They know how quickly they can get the ground up to speed, and of course the Bay Oval, it is in pristine condition. It's a wonderful ground. It drains very quickly, and you'd expect if the rain was to stop and this ground was to get cleared, how long would it take them?
Well, the amazing thing, I left home and I live about 15 minutes away from here, and driving it was raining quite hard. Driving into the ground as I parked, it rained quite hard. Started walking over the ground, it stopped. And funny enough, as I rubbed my hand on the grass, it was pretty dry. It was to a point where you don't need like that full hour for the ground to sort of get ready or for the ground staff to do something. It will dry pretty quick. They've done an amazing job for this time of the year to be able to get cricket on, especially at night when it's been this cold, and like we said, it's not even summer yet. But the ground is in fantastic condition, and no doubt that if it stops raining, there's a clear sort of area, but I think within 30-45 minutes, I think I need about 40 minutes just to warm up and get ready into the toss. There's a high chance we'll be able to see that within an hour.
Starting to see a few of the punters make their way into the ground. It was a pretty good ticket sales update from New Zealand Cricket in the build-up to this particular game. Of course, the second of the 3 T20s, and the Friday night fixture looked to be the most promising in terms of a good crowd. Obviously, not many people in at the moment. But as we look across the players area, Wiggs, I can see one of the Australian support staff dragging out some kit, so perhaps they're starting to think about a warm-up too.
Well, yeah, I thought it was a bit premature because all the New Zealand boys are sitting down, but I can see the New Zealand guys and support staff also just starting to take the old warm-up bags down and all the kit that's necessary to start the warm-up. So there might be, some news, I guess, getting from the umpires and stuff to start looking and getting ready. They might give them some indication of the ground staff what they think could be a potential start time, which fingers crossed we can find out soon. But now seeing the New Zealand staff as well coming down, starting to pack all their gear out is a positive sign. So exciting, we might see some action.
Thoughts of former Black Cap Neil Wagner as we watch the ground staff starting to remove another cover off the centre of the block. So once this one comes up, it'll just be the Hessian to go. So that gives you a really good indication of what's going on here with the weather. It has certainly stopped raining. It is a lot lighter at the ground. And McCarty's right alongside me, and he's got some information. We're looking to have a toss at 7:45 with an 8:15 start, 18 overs aside. Neil, that would represent quite some turnaround in the weather, considering about half an hour ago you and I were pessimistic.
Very, but again, that's that 45-minute mark is what I said, just earlier. It just shows you again the amazing facility that this is here at Bay Oval to be able to get the ground ready. With the rain, I think about 15-20 minutes ago came down pretty hard to be able to get the ground ready in that space of time. Is kudos to the ground staff and everyone involved.
Just recapping that news, if you've just tuned in, no cricket at the moment here at Bay Oval due to some inclement weather in the region this afternoon. In fact, it's been raining a large part of the day in Tauranga, Mount Maunganui, in the Bay of Plenty. But we've just heard from New Zealand Cricket Operations that they are hopeful of a 7:45 toss with play to start at 8:15 p.m, 18 overs aside. That's still subject to, of course, what happens over the next 20 minutes with regards to the weather and how quickly the ground staff can prep it and get ready to go. Now, Daniel McCarty and Ian Smith were talking about the Black Caps T20 World Cup squad and the upcoming matches that we're going to see and the influence they're going to have on that squad. And Ian Smith rightly stayed silent when it came to bowlers. There's so many bowlers in the New Zealand T20 setup at the moment, Wags. We've got obviously guys who are injured. We've got the group out here at the moment. There are players coming back, not centrally contracted. I won't go through all the names at the moment. I'll leave you to do that. But there is a great amount of depth in the bowling stocks for New Zealand when it comes to the white ball game.
Very exciting. I think in all departments, from batting to bowling, I think there's a lot of good youngsters coming through, showcasing their talents and putting their name, forward. Putting their hand up, and I think this is what this series and quite a, I guess, healthy white ball schedule over the next couple of months is for guys to put their hand up. Hey, Lockie Ferguson is not here. A few other guys, Adam Milne, I think, is still around. So those are still quality players with experience. But then you look at, what's around here now at the moment, Zach Folkes, young guys coming through, putting their hand up. Some quality bowlers. Jacob Duffy has just gone from strength to strength. So, I think the main thing is, they're going to probably rotate guys around, sort of see what they've got. But I think you want to try and start nailing guys' clarity of role and their role definition early now, so they can start practicing, start getting confidence in it, start getting experience in what they need to do. That when you get to the T20 World Cup, you're not trying to figure out your role and what you need to do. You're well equipped to what's going to be in front of you. So, you think this is going to be a thing where they rotate through these 3 games now, but hopefully soon they'll start getting into a bit of a groove and settling guys into those roles.
Yeah, you touched on the heavy nature of the white ball schedule ahead of Christmas. Of course, we've got the West Indies coming here in December for those test matches, but of course that is preceded by series against England, white ball. We've obviously the Australian series, the England series, the Windies themselves, and the Black Caps with white ball. So do you envisage over the next 6 weeks, effectively, Rob Walter and the New Zealand team are going to have a very good idea by about the 1st of December who's really in the frame for that World Cup from a bowling perspective?
Yeah, definitely. I think you definitely look at it and go, hey, you start getting your cards together and who's your frontliners, who's your backup with these injuries, who's sort of like for like players, who's going to be your new ball bowlers. Obviously, India, you're going to rely on spin and your all-rounders, so who's going to be those guys who's going to be able to, play that all-rounding role, who's going to bowl, the middle overs or overs. It's very important. But it's the wicket takers for me, the guys that take wickets. Like we haven't seen a guy like Ben Sears yet. I think he might get a run tonight, don't know, but I would have liked to, with Rachin Ravindra's injury that happened the other night, is maybe see a change, because he is someone who, if Mitchell Santner's not there, becomes a left arm off spin opportunity to change the pace of the game. That's where Ash Sodhi becomes important. So hopefully he gets a run tonight. We'll have to wait and see. But those spin bowling options is going to be very crucial. And then knowing what's your role as a seamer in India. Some guys are going to get a new ball, some might not. But what is my role? And especially during that middle pass to take wickets. The other night, obviously, you're not going to get that windy, blustery conditions over in India. You are. So who's going to be your into the wind sort of bowler who's going to run in and whack the wicket and create something into the wind? For me personally, that's your Ben Sears sort of type bowler. So I'd love to have seen him doing that sort of role. I think the other night was a lot of the same bowlers that's new ball bowlers and not knowing their role, I guess, it's still the same bowlers, I guess, in a way, but it'll be interesting to see what sort of team dynamic they're going to go with tonight.
The good news from Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui is that the players are out in the centre, both teams, the Australians and the New Zealanders, and they're going through some warm-up drills. We've got batters with bats in hand, fielding drills, some of the Australian team on the main block, doing some bowling with Daniel Vittori, collecting the ball in the baseball glove. And the most promising sign of them all, the Hessian cover coming off the pitch. So for the first time tonight, we're getting a look at the surface. It is the same pitch that was used on Wednesday night. It'll be used again tomorrow night. So great news in terms of start of play here, with rain delaying the start of the second Chapel Hadley T20 International and the Hessian cover coming off. Soon the stumps will go in, and the promising signs for that 7:45 toss, which was raised by New Zealand Cricket a short time ago, and the hope of an 8:15 start, 18 overs aside, is the proposal at the moment. That's all subject to confirmation once the umpires and officials get together to sort it out. But Neil Wagner, as we look across the ground, people starting to come in. The rain is not falling. The lights are on, obviously. But with the Hessian coming off and Tim Seifert smashing balls into the net in front of us, couldn't be a more promising sign than in the last half an hour.
No, very promising sign. And like I said, hopefully we can see some cricket tonight, which keeps the Chapel Hadley Trophy alive. That's what we want. The guys coming, throwing some punches and create a result tonight that can go away, which will make for a spectacle tomorrow. So it's definitely looking a picture now at the moment.
Just going back to that World Cup squad, you talk about the makeup of the bowlers. Matt Henry obviously has emerged in the last, well, not emerged in the last 12 months, but he's taken over the leadership of that bowling attack. Clearly, fitness permitting, he is a lock for that T20 World Cup squad. So then it becomes, who do you surround him with? And when you've got the likes of Folkes and Duffy, Sears, O'Rourke, Ferguson, they can't all squeeze into this 15-man squad. What do you see when you think about India and that mugger? How much does the location of the World Cup play a factor in who might get the nod?
It's a great problem to have. Rob Watt and the selection crew will scratch their head. I mean, the amount of bowlers that we've got now, it's a great problem to have. If Will O'Rourke gets fit, I mean, you sort of look like for likes. I mean, your tall guys that's bowling fast, your Kyle Jamieson, your Will O'Rourke, your Ben Sears, they sort of go into a category. Then you look at your all-rounders, the guys like Zach Folkes, Jimmy Neesham, guys who can bat and bowl, bring that dynamic to be able to help with the balance of the team. And then you get, you sort of, like I said, you're getting your enforcers, your Ben Sears who can run in, bowl pace, whack the wicket. Matt Henry is definitely the leader in attack. He's taken over that role. He's got the experience, he's got the knowledge around it. Jacob Duffy has done extremely well over the last periods. You sort of look at it, go, him and Jacob Duffy, who, although hasn't played as much for New Zealand, he's a very experienced campaigner. He's been around in the domestic scene and New Zealand scene now for a number of years now. So you sort of need that experience as well from his side of view. But it's not a bad problem to have because injuries do happen. We can talk about bowlers being fit now and being ready, and Matt Henry and a Kyle Jamieson being the two sort of first picks maybe in the lineup, but then come down with Test cricket and other things that got to go down the line. Injuries do happen. You want to keep that squad healthy and fit and ready with all resources you got.
Talked about Jacob Duffy, of course. Not a forgotten man, because that's incorrect. He's obviously played a lot for New Zealand in recent seasons, but in that mix, I suppose he wouldn't necessarily be seen as a lock-in, but he's the number 2 ranked T20 bowler in the world. This is a kind of it sort of slips under the radar just how good he's become.
Yeah, got his opportunity through injuries and fully grabbed with both hands and made the most of it, and that, like I said, becomes a head scratch for selectors, but a great problem to have. Like I said, again, you want to have a full fit squad to be able to pick from, but hey, if you don't and there's injuries, there's guys that can come up and fill up those roles and do it really well. So a great problem to have, but like I said, the fast bowling test has been the best we've had. These games now will be a bit of a rotation, give guys a chance, sort of see where they're at, but in the back of their mind with I guess the leadership group, you'll have a clear understanding of what you want. I guess put guys into a bit of a bracket, who's your, like I said, your wicket taking option, new ball options, your enforcer sort of role, your all-rounders, and then it's pretty hard to put them into a 15-man squad, but that's what they'll sort of look at, and then you'll probably try and take the guys who perform the best in the next little while. So a lot to play for, which is exciting.
Just flipping it over to the batting, and particularly after what we saw on Wednesday night with Tim Robinson, big statement from him in terms of performing against a world-class Australian team. Again, might not have got the opportunity if Rachin Ravindra was fit in the year. Dives into advertising boards, get injured, gets his opportunity, and he just looked like he played, like the way he would play in a Super Smash game. Didn't faze him playing against Australia. International game didn't, literally looked like he was just playing another game of cricket. Bumped his chest out, backed his skill, backed his ability, 3 down early. Didn't really look like it, was a problem for him. So that's a great sign to have as a young kid coming in, playing against Australia and taking it on and playing the way he did. So a huge tick for him, and he would have 100% put his name up and said, here I am, and just note that selectors. So great problem again. Thoughts there of former Black Caps fast bowler Neil Wagner. Great to have him part of the Sport Nation commentary team. Looking forward to plenty of chin music from you throughout the summer in the form of the audio form, not chin music music in terms of bowling anymore in this commentary box. Neil, we don't do too much of that. We do a lot of talking. That's what we will do over the next little while. It is coming up to, 22 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Good news from Bay Oval is that a toss is imminent here. We have had a rain delay so far of 23 minutes, so we are going to lose some overs, but it's looking good for a toss at 7:45 with play to start at 8:15, 18 overs aside, and that would represent a bit of a win for this fixture considering the weather in this region throughout the day. A lot of rain around, and good news is, though, the lights are on, the punters are starting to come in, the players are warming up, the pitch, I can see it, which is obviously a huge positive considering it's been undercover for such a long time today. It is 21 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Good news from Bay Oval. We'll take a short break here on Sport Nation, and when we come back, we will hopefully have some toss details for you, and we'll get set for the start of play. 8:15, fingers crossed, at Bay Oval. Back soon.
Blonde 24-pack cans, $42.99. Heineken 24-pack bottles, a hot 2 for $90. Voldoro, Tawny or Ruby Port, any 2 for $60. Maloney's Irish Cream 700ml, a hot 2 for $32.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big Barrel, your local liquor store.
Sport Nation.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
Series between New Zealand and Australia, and this is the summer of cricket on Sport Nation.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
Sport Nation.
Celebrate these hot deals only at Big Barrel. Hennessy VS Cognac 700ml, $64.99. Buffalo Trace Bourbon or Sailor Jerry Spiced Rum 700ml, $54.99. Absolute Plain or Beefeater 1 litre, $52.99.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big Barrel, your local liquor store.
Sport Nation.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
This is Matt Henry from the Black Caps, and you're listening to live coverage of the T20 series between New Zealand and Australia, and this is the summer of cricket on Sport Nation.
Big Barrel, your local liquor store.
Hawke's Bay Brewing Co. Peach or Berry Bomb Ginger or Lemon Fusion 4-pack cans, $17.99. Long White 10-pack bottles range, a hot 2 for $55. Tiger Ultra 12-pack cans, $23.99.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big Barrel, your local liquor store.
This is Kyle Jameson from the Black Caps, and you're listening to live coverage of the T20 series between New Zealand and Australia, and this is the summer of cricket on Sport Nation.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
This is Matt Henry from the Black Caps, and you're listening to live coverage of the T20 series between New Zealand and Australia, and this is the summer of cricket on Sport Nation.
Since the 1970s, Roundup's seen it all in the Kiwi backyard. The paisley prints, the short shorts, the backyard cricket, the conversations with the lawnmower, the barbies, and the outdoor lifestyle we still love today. We've been helping Kiwis keep weeds down year after year with a product for every job, from paths and lawns to those hard-to-kill weeds. Roundup makes it simple. Roundup, part of Kiwi backyards since 1976. To banish weeds now, reach for the Roundup.
This is Matt Henry from the Black Caps, and you're listening to live coverage of the T20 series between New Zealand and Australia, and this is the summer of cricket on Sport Nation.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
Bunnings Trade is here to help you get indoor projects sorted. We've got great value on brands like Philips, Knauf, Flexi Storage and PPG. So head in store or online and grab what you need to get your indoor projects done. Bunnings Trade, helping business is our trade.
Welcome back to Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui. It is 15 minutes away from 8 o'clock. We are getting set for the start of the second Chapel Hadley T20 International. The Black Caps in Australia. Of course, Australia up 1-0 after their 6-wicket win on Wednesday evening. Comprehensive victory for Australia. But tonight, chance for them to reclaim the Chapel Hadley or retain the Chapel Hadley, or can New Zealand find a way back in? Let's go onto the ground. Daniel McCarty is on the ground. Daniel, we've had such poor weather today, but you're out there. There's a toss about to go on. What's the conditions like?
Yeah, I can see the toss going into the very large hands of the New Zealand skipper, Michael Bracewell, who's clicked it. I think New Zealand has won the toss. I'm not the greatest of lip readers. We'll find out from the skipper. One thing that is very noticeable, Tom, as you walk down the embankment from our commentary position, it's wet and slushy. Then you cross the white line and the outfield is quite amazing. You'd think there's just a little bit of evening time dew on the surface. It's really impressive, the conditions that these two sides will enjoy.
We might have just lost Daniel there. That's a shame, because Michael Bracewell has won the toss, I can tell you that, and New Zealand are going to bowl first here at Bay Oval. That is a shame. Daniel McCarty was just about to get a word with Michael Bracewell. We'll try and keep working on it. What he was suggesting there was the weather that we've had in the Bay of Plenty obviously has been a lot of rain so far today, but it stopped right at the opportune time. This game was threatening a washout, that is for sure. About an hour ago, there was rain falling on the ground. The covers were completely across the block. No sign of the pitch. And we can go back to Daniel McCarty now. Daniel.
Yeah, I am back. Sorry, Tom, disappearing there. Michael Bracewell, the New Zealand skipper. What are you doing?
We're bowling.
Why is that?
Look, there's a little bit of rain around, so it's always nice to bat last and know what you're chasing.
Changes, plenty by the looks.
Yeah, we've got 3 changes today. Sears, Nisham and Sodi are coming in, so hopefully they can bring in a little bit of experience as well.
They put a lot of pressure on you with the bats. What adjustments you wanting to see from your bowlers tonight?
Yeah, I think we weren't far off. There's a few just going over the infield and the power play and things like that. So yeah, hopefully the rub of the green goes our way tonight, and it started with the toss.
Brilliant. All the best for tonight. Appreciate your time.
Thanks so much. Cheers.
So just confirming no Jacobs dropping out of the sides, no Folks and no Jameson, Tom.
Very good. Daniel McCarty with the latest on the ground. In fact, you might have Mitchell Marsh is wandering over for a chat.
But overall, you must have been delighted how you started the series.
Yeah, it was. I think it was an all-round performance the other night. The boys certainly came out to play in some pretty tricky conditions with the wind and certainly how cold it was. It's pretty foreign for us at this time of year, so hopefully more of the same tonight.
Yeah, just one change, rotating the bowlers, I guess, but what do you make of conditions? You pretty comfortable batting first?
Yeah, pretty comfortable batting first, mate. It looks a beautiful wicket. It certainly was the other night. It's been under covers, so these conditions it might swing a bit early, but we'll try and combat that and keep the same intent.
Appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Here we have it. The news from the middle. New Zealand has won the toss and is going to have a bowl. So one change for the Australians, 3 for New Zealand, Tom.
Very good. Daniel McCarty there out on the centre of Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui. And as Daniel said, New Zealand winning the toss, and they are bowling first in a rain-reduced second Chapel Hadley T20 International, 18 overs aside. Of course, play was due to start at 7:15, but rain in the Bay of Plenty put pay to that. But the good news is the lights are on, the rain has cleared for now, the players are warming up, the toss has been conducted, New Zealand has won the toss, they are bowling first, play due to begin at 8:15. Couple of changes for the New Zealand team, James Neesham and Ish Sodhi come in, and there's also a change for the Australians as well. We'll get to all those toss details, those team details after this break, which we will take at 11 minutes away from 8 o'clock. Stand by, folks, cricket is coming to Sport Nation about 25 minutes away from a start of an 18-over-a-side second Chapel Hadley T20. Back at the Mount in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
This is Matt Henry from the Black Caps, and you're listening to live coverage of the T20 series between New Zealand and Australia, and this is the summer of cricket on Sport Nation.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
Tough jobs call for tough stuff. With VisiTread Temporary Surface Protection, you've got heavy-duty projects covered. It's breathable, spill-resistant and rugged enough to handle worksite wear. Prep your space with the tough stuff that's made of 100% recycled Aussie materials. VisiTread, available at Bunnings Warehouse.
Sport Nation. When it comes to New Zealand sports turf, nobody knows it better than PGG Wrights and Turf. They've been in the industry for over 40 years, proudly supplying customers right across the country. From stadiums to golf courses, bowling greens to landscaping, even through to revegetation and erosion control, their highly skilled team are well equipped in every aspect of the turf and environmental markets. So, for your next turf project, talk to New Zealand's experts. PGGWrightsandTurf.com.
This is Kyle Jamieson from the Black Caps, and you're listening to live coverage of the T20 series between New Zealand and Australia, and this is the summer of cricket on Sport Nation.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
Score massive courtside savings at Chemist Warehouse. Save $5 on the Durkos anti-dandruff shampoo range, 200ml, now just $28.89 each. And save $9 on Schick Silk Hydro Deluxe Care Kit too, only $12.99. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day.
Sport Nation.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
Score massive courtside savings at Chemist Warehouse. Save $20 on Healthy Care Odorless Fish Oil, 2,000mg, 400 caps, now $44.99. And save 25% on the Physio Cream Solugel range, starting from just $4.50. Chemist Warehouse, great savings every day.
This is Kyle Jamieson from the Black Caps, and you're listening to live coverage of the T20 series between New Zealand and Australia, and this is the summer of cricket on Sport Nation.
Since the 1970s, Roundup's seen it all in the Kiwi backyard. The paisley prints, the short shorts, the backyard cricket, the conversations with the lawnmower, the barbies, and the outdoor lifestyle we still love today. We've We've been helping Kiwis keep weeds down year after year with a product for every job, from paths and lawns to those hard-to-kill weeds. Roundup makes it simple. Roundup, part of Kiwi backyards since 1976. To banish weeds now, reach for the Roundup.
This is the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation, coming to you from Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui. Good news from the Mount is that we will have cricket in the next 20 minutes, weather permitting. New Zealand has won the toss and they are bowling first in a rain-reduced 18-over-a-side fixture. Rain in the Bay of Plenty, well, it wasn't looking good about an hour ago. But the weather has cleared, the covers are off, the players are warming up, and we're getting set for a start of play at 8:15. Some team news for you from the New Zealand side. Ish Sodhi, Ben Sears and James Neesham come into the New Zealand 11 for Bevan Jacobs, Zach Folkes and Kyle Jamieson. One change for the Australian team, Sean Abbott is in for Ben Dorsius. Of course, Dorsius was pretty impressive at the start of the opening game with a couple of wickets in his first over, as Australia went on to take that game and a 1-0 lead in the series. But he has been spelled. Sean Abbott comes in for the Australians, and those three changes, as I say, for New Zealand. Sodhi, Sears and Neesham will play tonight for New Zealand, with Jacobs, Folkes and Jamieson taking a spell. Michael Bracewell has won the toss. Just repeating that news, New Zealand are bowling first, and we are set for a start of an 18-over-a-side game at about 8:15. So encouraging signs. Ian Smith is alongside me. Smithy, no real surprise that New Zealand would win the toss and bowl first?
No, I think that's the right formula, and particularly with the covers been on the surface for quite some time, so if there's anything in the pitch at all, it'll be early on, and that means New Zealand will have the advantage of that. So still, you've got to put the ball in the right place and bowl it with a little bit more consistency than they did the other night. I think they just have to up the ante across the board in all disciplines. From what we saw, there was a bit of a cobweb game for me, so they have to, in the day that they've had off, rethink a few things. They've obviously rethought their playing 11. Not very often you make 3 changes in a T20 11, but they've done that. Jimmy Neesham and of course Ish Sodhi, a lot of experience coming in there, and Ben Sears coming back from injury. So, and Sears of course probably the quickest in the squad, so that'll be interesting to see if he can get up the Australians with a bit of pace and bounce early on in the piece, and perhaps really target Travis Head. And if they can pick up early wickets, New Zealand will be lifted. If Australia get away on them again, it'll be back to the same sort of thing. So I like the side, I like the balance. Australia have made that one change as well with Abbott coming in, who's quite spicy with ball in hand. He can get it through. So there's a good mix, and everyone's getting a bit of a run, which is, although we're playing for the Chapel Hadley Trophy, is a good sign. Of course, New Zealand have to win tonight, don't they, to keep it alive?
Yeah, those changes. Would you expect that Rob Walter would have had changes in his mind after Wednesday, or with the conditions today when he got up and pulled the curtains back, forced some changes? Or where do you think the thinking was with bringing in Neesham and Sears and Sodhi?
Well, of course, Neesham wasn't part of the original plan. He came in late for Rachin Ravindra. That will be on the evidence of what he saw the other night. And he probably didn't see enough from Bevan John Jacobs, in a crucial situation where we'd had that good partnership and he wasn't able to maintain the momentum. So these changes are also born out of necessity to have to win this game and keep the series alive. So it's not like we've got one up our sleeves we can play with from a New Zealand point of view. They have to win. And so I like it, and it's also a signal to the players. And he's very, very new in the job, Rod Walter, that he's about making changes if he has to, and he's not going to muck around doing it. He's not going to give players a free ride, etc. So he's painted a picture. The Sodhi thing's a good one. I mean, we all know Sodhi's been carted around for the last decade, playing intermittent cricket for New Zealand. If he's definitely part of the plan, he has to bowl a lot of overs. If he's part of the World Cup plan, he has to bowl a lot of overs. He has to play a lot of cricket. He has to be confident that they're going to pick him. There are times when he's going to go. He's going to go for 8 or 9 and over. That happens in T20 cricket. But if he's going to be part of your spin bowling combinations, if he's going to be integral in that, then you've got to use them in these situations.
Conversely, Australia just making the one change. You talked about Sean Abbott being spicy. Pretty underrated, really, isn't he? Sean Abbott as an Australian bowler. Hasn't played probably as much as he would have for any other international team.
Exactly right. I mean, if your name's not Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood or Boland, then you're obviously going to be a little bit underrated because no one knows too much about you because they've taken ownership of the bowling crease in Australia and they don't like giving other people opportunities. So this is really an interesting thing for them in terms of their balance of their side and just making sure that when they come to pick their 15-man squad, that they've got depth and cover with a little bit of experience in all areas of the game. They've still, of course, got Glenn Maxwell to perhaps come back into the mix if he's fully fit and ready to go. They've got more options to burn than New Zealand do at this point. And I think that was quite evident the other night.
Australia, of course, winning comfortably on Wednesday to go 1-0 up in the T20 Chapel Hadley series. This is game 2. Rain delay at Bay Oval due to the weather that has brought a lot of wet weather, a lot of rain to the Bay of Plenty in the last day or so. But the good news is the covers are off the ground. We have had a toss. New Zealanders bowling first. 3 changes to that New Zealand team. Sodhi, Sears and Neesham come in for Jacobs, Folkes and Jamieson. 1 change for Australia with Sean Abbott to play in place of Ben Dorsius tonight. The news is that we are about 16 minutes away from the start of play. It will be an 18 over a side game. That rain has cleared, and the good news is there is not much on the rain radar either. So fingers crossed we'll get through the full 18 overs. It's coming up to 8 o'clock on Sport Nation, counting down to the second Chapel Hadley T20 International, the Black Caps and Australia, right here on Sport Nation.
It's so impressive, but this time he's hit square of the wicket.
You're listening to the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. This is the Black Caps against Australia, the 2020 series for the Chapel Hadley Trophy, live from Bay Oval in Tauranga on Sport Nation.
Big battle, your local liquor store.
Pure Blonde 24-pack cans, $42.99. Heineken 24-pack bottles, a hot 2 for $90. Voldoro, Tawny or Ruby Port, any 2 for $60. Maloney's Irish Cream 700ml, a hot 2 for $32.
For more info, visit www.bigbarrel.co.nz. Big Barrel, big range, bigger deals.
Big battle, your local liquor store.
Hi, I'm Jason Field from Kinetic Access, your garage door specialists on 385 Nielsen Street, Penrose. While we've been dominating garage doors, gates and fences for 35 years, we're delighted to be stepping into new opportunities as Kinetic Access to give you better options. Our new garage door and motor package makes smart technology standard with no extra cost. No add-ons, no premiums, just smart. Built in. For unmatched quality, better value and more choice, Kinetic Access is the place to go. Check us out at kineticaccess.co.nz.
When it comes to New Zealand sports turf, nobody knows it better than PGG Wrights and Turf. They've been in the industry for over 40 years, proudly supplying customers right across the country. From stadiums to golf courses, bowling greens to landscaping, even through to revegetation and erosion control, their highly skilled team are well equipped in every aspect of the turf and environmental markets. So, for your next turf project, talk to New Zealand's experts. PGGWrightsandTurf.com.
Go Harvey Norman for huge deals on big screen TVs. The biggest brands, best range, latest technology, and screens up to a massive 100 inches. Huge TV deals at Harvey Norman now. The action's better on the big screen.
What's it like working with a cooperative like Ravensdown? When you open the door, you have the collective knowledge of 70 locally based agri-managers, 20 scientists, 12 pilots, 9 ship captains and a network of spreader drivers. And over 700 staff running local stores, guaranteeing you always have supplies, and bringing you world-class precision spreading and mapping technology like Hawkeye. And they're all working for you. Ravensdown. To know how, you have to know who.
Mate, did you get on the comeback last night?
Yeah, of course I did. TAB in play. Bro, odds were flying.
Oh, I always miss the moment.
Not with real-time stats. You see the momentum swing and get in before the scoreboard does.
Wait, so you're betting mid-match?
Yeah, live and in the moment. Whenever the odds swing, I'm on.
TAB, get your bet on. Available on selected sports and markets only. T's and C's apply. R18, Bet responsibly.
The equestrian world comes together for Equifest, October 17th to 19th. As New Zealand's premier equine festival, you'll enjoy world-class education, thrilling competitions, night shows, and a trade village packed with the latest gear. Explore clinics and demos, catch up with mates, and celebrate everything there is to love about horses. Get your Equifest tickets now and learn from the industry's best experts. At the Fibre Fresh National Equestrian Centre in Taupō, October 17th to 19th. Visit equifest.co.nz.
If you're screaming out for an ice cream, Night and Day has heard you loud and clear. And every Tuesday in October, you can enjoy a delicious ice cream for just $2. There's loads of flavours ready to roll, including Kiwi classics like Hokey Pokey and Gumdrops. The choice is choice as. Make every Tuesday in October your $2 ice cream day. And with over 50 stores nationwide, your sweet treat is never far away.
Night and Day store, Night and Day.
Discover the thrill of thoroughbred racing at loveracing.nz and celebrate the heroes of our sport. Follow our equine superstars from the breeding barn to the racetrack, through to their life after racing. Be a part of the action. Loveracing.nz, your home of thoroughbred racing.
It's 6 more to Mitchell. Welcome back to the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. You're listening to live ball-by-ball commentary. This is the Black Caps against Australia, the 2020 series for the Chapel Hadley Trophy on Sport Nation.
On Sport Nation, live from Bay Oval, Mount Maunganui, ahead of the second T20 International of this Chapel Hadley series. Australia leading by 1-0. Delayed start down to 18 overs aside. New Zealand won the toss, decided to have a bowl. Joining us in commentary this evening, great to welcome him back for another stint with us here on Sport Nation, is former legendary New Zealand fast bowler Neil Wagner. And Wags, you've got to love/hate this sport, because in that ad break, the rain has come back, and I'm looking at the rain radar. Mate, it's as thin as you on the on the rain radar, but it just started to drizzle. The SCN's gone on, and all of a sudden the stumps have been pulled out, the covers are going back on. Bless. And it takes me to Jamie via text, who writes 8833. Hi guys, love the radio call. Hey, what is the reason cricket can't be played in the rain? I've always wondered why they can't just play on, you softies. I added in the softies bit. But how frustrating, Neil.
Dan, so frustrating, Neil. It's just as we started getting exciting, people started filtering into the ground quite nicely. Toss had guys warming up, great swinging conditions, balls swinging around in warm-ups, just looked the picture, and it's just starting to get heavier and heavier now as the big covers started getting put onto the ground, and it's pretty frustrating. I don't think it's going to be around long. I think we're just going to go through the same whole rigmarole we've been going through for the last 40 minutes, mate. It's just going to be the same, I guess, 40 minutes again, potentially.
Well, it's 8:05 now, and I can't even look up to Mount Maunganui and go with your theory as if you can't see the Mount, no good. Well, I can't see the Mount because it's dark, mate. That's why. So, but it is coming from that direction, as it has been sort of coming from the northwest, sort of tracking across the island. And the rain radar's pretty clear further north, so let's hope Neil is right, and it is just a passing shower. But, of course, we're going to now continue to eat into time. The overs could come down. And the oddity of this, it's come after the toss. Can't change your teams, can you?
No, and I sort of started thinking about it a little bit, but I kind of feel this team they've picked tonight is a better balance, so I don't think they would have tinkered too much of it, even if the toss is a little bit later. I like the balance they've gone with Ish Sodhi coming in, spin changing option, and Jimmy Nish in the all-rounder, and like we said, I would have loved to see him on game one with the windy conditions, but Ben Sears coming back in, he would enjoy these conditions tonight. Like I said, there's quite a bit of swing in warm-ups. It's still not a breath of wind. It actually felt quite humid walking around outside, so definitely nice swinging conditions, so hopefully we get out there.
Well, it was so bolshy, the wind on Wednesday. I think Jacob Duffy swung one ball. It almost near on impossible in winds of that nature to swing a ball, is it?
Yeah, horrible conditions to bowl in. Watching that on TV, I know this ground in and out. I've trained a lot here, played a lot here. When it's windy like that, it's a brutal place to play. It's horrible to bowl. It's right up there with the basin. It's just, you hate bowling when the wind blows like that. It is tough. It makes your job tough. You can't really swing the ball. Hard to control it. Hard to find your lengths and your rhythm, especially rhythm as a bowler running in. Tonight, those bowlers we go, finally we get a brilliant night. great swinging conditions, fresh, still fresh wicket. So yeah, they'll be licking their lips and want to get out there, and hopefully this rain stops and we'll see some action tonight.
It's actually quite spooky conditions here with the lack of wind. We've just got the smoke from the industrial complex immediately outside the arena to our left, sort of just wafting across it. It looks a little bit eerie. And I'm just expecting people to come out and do the Thriller video or something.
I tell you what, with that salt coming across here, you're sort of stoked when it's raining, because you play a test match here, sometimes it gets in your face and your eyes. It actually dries you out quite badly. It's the salt fragment. Yeah. And you play a test match here, sometimes it actually tastes in your lips sometimes. It dries you out. It goes in your eyes and can really burn up a little bit. So that's quite a nice little element there the ground has got from its, you sort of got to deal with. But at the moment it's not looking great. You can sort of see that and the rain falling down. But hey, the crowd is really keen to come sit in October in this conditions, and they want to watch some cricket. So fingers crossed, like we said, it would just be another 40 minutes sort of rigmarole again, get the covers off, get the ground dry, and hopefully we another shortened game again. I think, don't know how much obviously we're going to lose from this, but it's definitely going to be a shorter game.
To the makeup of the New Zealand side, let's just dig a little bit deeper to those points. When I saw the side on Wednesday night, I was like, Jamieson, Duffy, Henry, they've got to bowl the first or the second over. Do you feel this attack, there are more defined roles?
Yeah, 100%. I feel the other night it's like, who's going to take the new ball? Who's going to bowl which end?
And Jamieson bowls the fourth.
Yeah. And it's all new ball bowlers. They can adapt and play different roles, but I feel, you look at the balance of this team, there's good clarity of your role and what you're sort of going to do, where you're going to fit in, what's sort of expected from you. But I'm not a fan of what happened the other night when Matt Henry, who's your number one strike bowler, your experienced bowler, has got to do the first over into the wind when you're defending 180. For me, it's come downwind, have two slips in place and take the aggressive option. Be aggressive. Let your strike bowler have the easy go, I guess, and fire downwind and try and take wickets. That's how you're going to beat Australia's, by bowling them out and taking wickets. You're not going to try and contain them in a T20 game. It's taking that positive option. Tonight, obviously, if we start, fingers crossed, there won't be one around, but you'd think you'd see a Jacob Duffy and Matt Henry new ball. Swinging the ball around, that's their strengths, that's their role. So it'll be pretty clear. For me, personally, it's either Jacob Duffy or Cole Jamieson. Cole Jamieson, through no fault of his own, had some injuries and it's pretty tough sitting on the side. But, when you've been out of injuries and someone else has done really well, you sort of got to bide your time again a little bit, Jacob Duffy's done extremely well, and Cole Jamieson is a phenomenal bowler, and we've seen what Cole Jamieson can do. So
he's a bit of a unicorn, isn't he? Like, from that height and to swing it.
Oh, brilliant aspect. And it's great having him and being fully fit. But for me personally, you've missed a bit of cricket. It's a bit of a bad luck. It's part of the sport, and Jacob Duffy's done extremely well. Haven't done a thing wrong. So you sort of go, well, Jacob Duffy is still then the number one sort of, I guess, new ball bowler. And then you look at a Ben Sears. If Cole Jamieson, if Ben Sears not going to play your Lockie Ferguson or your Adam Milne, then your point of difference is Cole Jamieson coming in his first change, being a hit the deck, extract the bounce sort of out of it sort of type of bowler. So it's all about knowing your role and having clarity around it, knowing sort of what's expected from you and what to do on the day. T20 changes quite a lot and you're going to adapt quickly. It's not a blueprinted role of, hey, you're going to bowl the fourth or fifth over. Things might change and you think quick on your feet and you adapt to it, but you still have a bit of an idea of what's my role in the team, what am I going to do, it's not going to be, hey, Ben Sears, you're going to get the new ball now in the second over coming sort of downwind. It's a clear role of, hey, my role is to bowl into the wind and take wickets.
And you've got to be adaptable, as you rightly point out, especially if Mitch Marsh and Travis Head get going, because they can just hit you to all parts. Like, Head's a funny player, isn't he? He hits it in just weird positions, doesn't he?
Extremely funny player.
Yeah, like at times I think bowlers must think, I'm in with a real chance here, and then he whacks you through the covers or leg side for another four.
Like
he's scored some runs.
He scores in weird areas. He hits you off your good balls, and you always feel like you can get him out. but by keep doing it, you
keep scoring runs.
Keep scoring runs, and he hurts you. And that, for me personally, that's where you want the change of pace in the game, and that's where Ish Sodhi becomes invaluable, because if he sort of does get going, it's, you know, bringing someone else in who can change the game a little bit. Michael Bracel's been turning the ball away from the bat to the left-hander, a huge option. So that change of pace becomes a huge option again. And I mean, we saw Adam Zampa the other day. I mean, it's October, green surface, expect the ball to move around and seam around a little bit. Adam Zampa was the most effective economy bowler of 6 runs and over. So you sort of need that change of the pace in the game still.
The Australians are, of course, without Glenn Maxwell, are ruled out on the eve of the series. England has an injury. Pat Cummins, back stress issue. I understand he's touch and go for the first Ashes test by the sounds. But make no mistake, beyond that, this is close to their World Cup squad. And the two things that stood out to us in game number one, the sheer size of the guys, they're enormous, but the power they have must strike fear in bowlers when you're at the top of your mark, knowing, gee, this guy can hit it not out of the park, but out of the neighbourhood. Yeah, definitely. They've got the power. They've got big boys that hit the ball extremely hard. I think you look at the recent series they played against South Africa, where, you know, South Africa beat them. South Africa obviously got probably a bit of confidence after the World Test Championship final and things like that, but they pumped their chests out and didn't stick back. They went at them and say, yeah, that's going to create opportunities to get you out, so we're going to take it. And they came with real aggression towards them, and I think it threw Australia off a little bit as well. And I felt always playing against Australia, when you pump your chest out and you go and you show, hey, I'm sort of mean business, it's sort of just look at you a little bit, you know, like, what's going on here? You can't let them just take the game, I guess, in a big way, especially those big boys. They rely on that ego, and they're going to use it. So you need to sort of toy a bit with it, I guess. And hopefully we see a Black Caps team come out tonight and play to not just their potential, but also, you know, show that they're here to mean business. There's good quality, there's good talent, there's good skill, way more than good enough on paper. It's now just having that inner belief and that body language and that presence of, hey, we're here to play cricket and we're going to come at you. Yeah, producer Brad's going to tell me off for asking another question. I'm going to just want to pick up on this same. A lot of our listeners and callers to the station and texters believe New Zealand has an issue playing Australia, that it's the top 2 inches, that they get stage fright, they shrink, that type of thing. You've been in the cauldron against them. Do you think that's fair of our fans to question? Because unfortunately they tend to win a little bit more. I don't think it's just Australia. I think it's all of them. I think it's England, it's India. There's no secret hiding away from it. They play more cricket than us. They are more experienced. They get a lot more volume than we do. The talent is there. We've got the talent. It's the way you front up. You need to, when you play bigger teams around the world, you need to find a little bit of something extra inside of you, that not fake it to make it sort of thing, but you need to put a presence out and say, hey, I believe in my skill. I'm going to come at you. You did that, and you had good success against Australia, didn't you? Well, I feel like that's what you got to do. I think you need to show them that, hey, you know, personally in my head and the little devil inside of you sort of think, hey, geez, I might not be good enough to be here and play against you, but I'm going to not show that. I'm going to show you, hey, I'm going to come at you, and I want to test myself against the best. I want to show that I can compete against the best, and sure as hell I'm going to, you know, throw some punches and I'm going to come after you. And once you do that, I think when you show that sort of body language and that intent, you get them on the back foot a little bit. If you're going to let them just play and dictate and play the way they've played because of experience and the amount of games they play, and because of the way they feel and what they feed on, they're just going to dominate. And I sort of feel he had to bring that something different to the table. Neil Wagner, Ian Smith will be providing expert analysis for our coverage this evening. It is 8:15. That's when play was about to begin. If you're late to our coverage, a delayed start. The toss has been made. New Zealand won the toss, decided to bowl. 18 overs aside. New Zealand made 3 changes. Jacobs, Folkes, Jameson all dropping out. Jimmy Neesham comes into the side. So too does Ben Sears and Ish Sodhi. For Australia, just rotating their quicks with Sean Abbott coming into the lineup, with Dushish dropping out. And just about 10 minutes or so ago, the rain has returned, and it's reasonably thick, unfortunately. The covers are on, the heavy covers protecting the wider block is also on. The grounds crew up until this point have done a fabulous job. I don't think, Wags, when we arrived at around 5:30, we're expecting a start with 18 overs aside. The outfield's not a problem. We just, I don't know, mate. Can you get some hot air going?
Bring some helicopters in. Coming in today and sitting at home looking around, I was like, there's no chance. I just thought we were going to come in here and try and fill the gaps and talk and give our listeners something to
high quality broadcasting.
That's it.
I think that's how you win awards, Wags.
That's where you try to, isn't it? But I thought it was going to be a long night, mate. But walking to the ground staff, they were pretty hopeful. They thought we were going to get a game in, but they kept saying, hey, at worst, a 5-over game starting at 10 o'clock. That's still on the cards. I mean, we're going to start obviously losing overs now, but the shorter the game gets, it's going to be entertaining. It's going to be exciting. And to be honest, it can kind of lead to our favour a little bit in this sense. You get a win here and series alive and all to play for in the third match, so let's hope, fingers crossed, the weather gods is kind and we get out there tonight and this rain can get away. But like I said, the problem not having a briefer wind out here, the flags are dead still. It's not ideal, so let's hope the ground staff know their thing or two and get lucky.
What is also not ideal as we peer into the New Zealand changing room, that they've got a huge blown up headshot of the captain, Michael Bracewell, which would be half your body, and they've like coloured in a tragic mo. In fairness, it's better than Matt Henry's mo. It's better than our King Henry mo in the production booth.
They have to grow.
What is that about?
They have to grow in October to do November, mate. That's where they're starting.
Is that a joke? Is that an inside joke? We've got to get to the bottom of that. But close to sellouts, we were told, for Friday and Saturday. A real shame. And a lot of fans, I think, who have got tickets who might be listening. You might have to time your run. It looks like this rain might just hang around for some time yet. Unfortunately, coming straight down. We need a stroppy Wellington breeze, don't we? Something like that. We will take a short break. It's nearly 20 minutes after 8 o'clock. This is the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. New Zealand had won the toss, decided to bowl. The full side was Seifert, Conway, Robinson, Chapman, Mitchell, Bracewell, Neesham, Henry, Sodi and Duffy. For Australia, just the one change out in the bowling lineup will be Travis Head and Mitchell Marsh to open when play actually starts. Matt Short, Tim David, Alex Carey, Marcus Stoinis, Mitch Owens, Xavier Bartlett, Sean Abbott, the man who is in with Ben Dorshus dropping out, Adam Zampa, and of course the fine all-round bowler that is Mr. Josh Hazlewood. So back with more shortly from Bay Oval. A delayed start. Rain continues to fall. Stay with us here on the Summer of Cricket on Sport Nation. With Sport Nation, the Summer of Cricket coming to you from Bay Oval and Mount Maunganui on a disjointed, frustrating evening. We had a delayed start. The toss was made, of course, and we were due to start at 8:15, 18 overs aside, but unfortunately just as we were thinking about the second Chapel Hadley match starting, the rain came down again. Right, let's give you an update of what has transpired. Well, that steady rain continued for a while. Steady rain's a bit dramatic. It was just annoying drizzle, just painful drizzle. It wasn't particularly heavy. It was just here and no wind to push it off. That is now abated. That is wonderful. We have also seen the covers being removed. That was about 10 minutes ago. And we have an update in the sense that the umpires are going to head back out and conduct an inspection at about 10 past 9 to be exact. Glad Brad Lewis can read a text message even though it's right in front of me. Yeah, so the match officials will inspect again at 10 past 9. We talked in glowing terms about the state of the outfield, and I would imagine, as we see the umpires now wandering out, actually touching that lovely surface, I don't think that's going to be the concern. Time is now becoming an issue. Play has to start at 1 minute after 10. That is the very, very latest that we can start, and that would mean a 5-over match per side, of course. So hopefully we get some good news in the next few minutes as the umpires are walking out with great purpose and excitement. The fans are holding firm, good on them. Unfortunately nowhere near what New Zealand cricket would have wanted, because they were close to a sellout, but unfortunately the persistent rain throughout the day has made it a rather frustrating one. But there's always hope now, isn't there? What we will do whilst we wait for this news, which surely might come back to us in the next 4 or 5 minutes, we might just take you back to the opening game on Wednesday evening. Of course, a strong-looking Australian side arriving in New Zealand, holding on to the Chapel Hadley Trophy, of course, for which they won in a T20 series in 2024, convincingly so. New Zealand looking to get their hands back on the Chapel Hadley for the first time since 2016, if I'm not mistaken. Well, Mitch Marsh won the toss, the Australian skipper, and he sent New Zealand in. And fair to say, it was a bit of a rocky start for the home side. Let's take you back to Wednesday, game number 1, with New Zealand batting first. So we are ready for the first ball of the Chapel Hadley. It will be Hazelwood from over the wicket, getting aboard and nip back off the seam and hit a thigh pad. Hazelwood from over the wicket. Here's lifted to mid-off, should be taken, is. He's gone even further outside of leg stump, had to reach for it, hit the low on the bat and really just lobbed up to Marsh, who's shaking his head. Maybe the wind put him off, but they've got a breakthrough after just 3 balls. It's 4 for 1. From over the wicket, looking to work over Conway, who's bowled, advancing down the wicket. He's played inside the line, and then it's thundered into the timber. It's 6 for the loss of 2 in the second over. There is a noise. It has to be bat, Smithy.
Yeah, it's really well read, this. If there's a little tickle here, he's in big trouble, Chapman. There is. Yeah, he's in big trouble here. Australia have struck again, and that's a first baller for Mark Chapman.
Into the attack, bowling from the Papamoa end. First delivery is short, and it's been smashed over mid-wicket for 6. It's disappeared. Huge hit off the bat of Tim Robinson. He's 40, and it's 70 for 3. And that is a very well compiled half-century for Tim Robinson. He's 50 from 31.
Again, outside of leg stump, hitting high, long, straight and true, is it? Not long enough. David around, takes the catch right on the boundary rope, sort of slightly into the breeze as he dragged it onside, and Mitchell goes for 34, 98 for the loss of 4.
Jacobs gets the OUT on the big screen at Bay Oval, and his innings comes to an end, trying to get back for the third. He's run out for 20. Gets the confirmation, does Michael Bracewell. Run out for 7. New Zealand 171 for 6. Dorcius into Robinson, walks across and flicks it down to fine leg, and he will get the century. Gets a hug from Zach Folks. Tim Robinson, a maiden T20 international century, takes his helmet off, salutes the crowd, 100 not out. 1 ball left in the innings. 175 for 6 is the score. Here's Bartlett bowling to him, and he's going to finish it with a maximum over deep mid-wicket for 6. It's a big 6 from Tim Robinson. He will finish 106 not out and set Australia 182 to win the opening Chapel Hadley T20 at Bay Oval.
181 for the loss of 6. Tim Robinson, a maiden T20 100. What a knock. 106 off 66 balls. He hit 5 sixes in that, 6 fours as well. He and Daryl Mitchell resurrecting, starting the heartbeat of New Zealand again after they were in a huge hole at 6 for the loss of 3 after just 10 balls of the first Chapel Hadley. They did well to get through to 181 for the loss of 6. Dorcius took 2, Short and Hazelwood the wicket takers, and Adam Zampa really important contribution, none for 27 off his 4 overs, but Josh Hazelwood was the pick of the bunch. He bowled 13 dot balls in that 4 over burst, 1 for 23. Brilliant stuff. It was always going to be difficult for New Zealand to defend that total with this powerful Australian batting lineup, with Mitch Owen coming in at number 7. Just doesn't seem fair now, does it? Particularly Mitch Marsh led the response for Australia as they ultimately romped home. The highlights of game 1, the second innings. Australia needing 182 to win. But Matt Henry with the ball in his hands, bowling from our commentary end. He'll be running away from us. He's got a slip who's quite wide in the form of Daryl Mitchell. He starts full straight, worked up towards mid-on. There's no run. The ball's mid-crease. Slow, full, towering blow. Harry, get under it. It's coming to you, mate. That is 6 runs. 31 without loss. Marsh.
Henry bowls to head, and head is swinging. This time he's going to be caught. He is caught at mid-wicket.
tried to play the shot. Henry followed him, just got no timing, and it just ballooned up to Mark Chapman, who took the straightforward catch. And from a New Zealand perspective, the welcome departure of Travis Head, and Australia lose their first at 67. Kyle Jamieson again, and then tees off. Gets the driver out and sends it way over mid-wicket. Tremendous shot from Matt Short. Rollick along, 78 for 1. Over the wicket, bowls to Marsh, and all that's going to happen is Marsh is going to drive this one straight down the ground, over the top of the boundary for 6 more. He's 48 from 22 deliveries, 97 for 1. As Mitchell Marsh waits for Zach Folkes, and he's bowled short, and he's just flat batted this over extra cover into the embankment for 6 more. Back to back big barrel boundaries from Mitchell Marsh. He's 54, and Australia are 103 for 1. Oakes bowls, and it's in the hitting zone again of Matt Short, and he's gone whack over deep extra cover, over deep square rather, and that has gone onto the embankment as well. Short 21, Australia 111 for 1. 7 runs off the Matt Henry over so far. He's into Marsh, and Marsh has just stood in the crease and whacked it over the top of extra cover, and that has gone all the way for 6. Kyle Jamieson back into the attack from the Mount Maunganui end. Full delivery, hits short on the full, and up goes the finger. Kyle Jamieson gets the breakthrough for New Zealand. Matt Short, it was full, tried to play it on the onside and just missed the full delivery. Hit him on the pads and up they went, 135 for 2. Here's Henry bowling to Marsh and heaving this one in the air, and he's going to be caught on the fence by Tim Robinson at deep cover.
Should have run, Tom. Should have run.
Mitch Marsh heads off, caught Robinson, bowled Henry for 85. He's done all the work to get Australia pretty much home. Mitch Marsh goes for 85. New Zealand get their 3rd wicket at 157.
The guy 85 off 43, might be hard to argue. Here's a huge hit over mid-wicket. More than halfway up the embankment. Kerry waits for Folkes, backs away and awkwardly steers it straight to short third man. Hit high on the bats, ballooned away. He has not handled the short ball well in that very short stay. So a consolation wicket for New Zealand. 181 for the loss of 4. Kerry gone, caught Chapman off the bowling of Folkes. Right-hander pulls the ball away to the boundary. And fitting, Australia finish with another 4. A belligerent batting display at Bay Oval has seen them blast the Black Caps to all parts, and Australia take a 1-0 series lead in the Chapel Hadley, winning at a canter by 6 wickets. Chasing down that target of 182 halfway through the 17th over. So Australia in pole position as far as looking to retain the Chapel Hadley. The good news from a New Zealand perspective is this: they're going to get a crack at them tonight. We have literally just received news from the match operations team that play will begin shortly. The match will be reduced even further. We knew that, down from 18 overs to 9 overs per side. For those who are unaware, the ICC match playing conditions have been altered recently, so the power play will not be rounded to the nearest full over. It's actually now rounded to the nearest ball, so the power play, with the fielding restrictions of course in play, will be 2.4 overs. So play will get underway. Just waiting for a confirmation of what time that is. We do know it is 9 overs per side and the power play at 2.4. New Zealand's rather eager. They're already out there warming up. The Australians, well, we're peering inside their changing room. I can see Travis Head. He slapped the pads on and he's ready to go because he'll come out and bat alongside Mitchell Marsh. Here we go. We can confirm play to start at 9:30. So 12 minutes time from now, play due to start at 9:30, 9 overs per side. Power play of 2.4 overs. Common sense has prevailed, no drinks breaks. And there will be a 10-minute change of innings. I did have a good chuckle when we got a message earlier in the day saying no matter if it's reduced overs, they'll have a 2-minute 30 drinks break, but they're not going to go through with that. Excellent. The fans who have been waiting patiently will be rewarded. The New Zealanders going through their run-ups, and I've just seen Jacob Duffy bowl a ball that had a swung from middle stump off the pitch. It might be nice conditions for bowling. Perhaps he's using a two-piecer. Who knows? The Summer of Cricket will have cricket tonight. Game 2 of the Chapel Hadley will start in about 11 minutes' time. It is down to 9 overs a team. New Zealand did omit Jacobs, Folkes and Jameson. Australia made one change. Doshish dropping out and Abbott coming in. The full New Zealand side: Seifert, Conway, Robinson, Chapman, Mitchell, Bracewell, Neesham, Henry, Sears, Sodhi and Duffy. While for Australia, Travis Head, Mitchell Marsh, Matt Short, Tim David, Alex Carey, Marcus Stoinis, Mitch Owen, Xavier Bartlett, Sean Abbott, Adam Zampa, Josh Hazelwood. The bowling will be, just trying to collate it in my mind, 4 bowlers can bowl 2, 1 can bowl 1. That will be the restrictions on the bowling for New Zealand. We will take a short break. When we return, thank heavens, well, the heavens have finally decided to dry up. It will be the first ball of the Chapel Hadley at 9:30. Game number 2 not far away here on Sport Nation.
Welcome to Bay Oval in Mount Maunganui. We have cricket and your timing is impeccable. Matt Henry at the top of his mark. First ball of a 9-over game and he beats the bat of Mitchell Marsh. Good evening, Ian Smith. We have some cricket.
Well, it's come around very quickly after all this waiting around, and I got to say I've been around this game for a long time. I didn't think we'd get any. So I take my hat off to the umpires, the players, the ground staff, everyone that's decided let's get out there and do something, because they're within their rights at one point there to just say, well, really, enough's enough. But good on them.
Mitchell Marsh and Travis Head at the wicket for Australia as Henry bowls, and Marsh tries to heave it over deep square, takes it on the body. Henry's through to collect, and it's a second dot ball to start this 9-over-a-side game.
Well, you don't play 9-over cricket very often, so you don't have targets in mind. You just swing from the hip and hope, I think, in this regard, from a batting point of view. And from New Zealand's bowling point of view, we'll just see what they learnt from the other night. They're already short of a length to Marsh from Matt Henry. Nothing for him to pummel over the top of extra cover or through mid-off, but where he really does prefer. That's one of his strong areas. So maybe New Zealand have decided, even with a new ball, it might swing a bit. We're going to go short to Marsh.
Henry in again, short again. This time Marsh guiding it just behind point, but it's cut off by Conway. There is a third man in a deep backward square outside the circle for this power play that will last 2.4 overs. Good crowd has stuck around. Certainly not fill the Bay Oval by any stretch, but there has been some hardy souls who at various points in the evening did not think they would see any cricket tonight. Midway through the first over, here is Henry in again to Marsh, and he's at the bowler, swinging this one just to the left of mid-off. Bracewell moves across outside the circle, cuts it off, and Australia's innings is underway. They are 1 without loss, and this is the first over. Just repeating the conditions, 9 overs aside.
So what is a good score? I mean, well, judging by what they scored the other night when they really chased it down with ease, you're probably looking at around 100. If you could get 10 and over in 9 overs, that's, I think that's pretty handy. You got 10 wickets in hand, of course. You're not going to get bowled out in 9 overs. So that's one thing that's in your favour. But in this respect, what is going to be enough? That's the big thing. I mean, they've got 2 terrific players at the crease, Travis Head now, but no early momentum for Mitchell Marsh.
Same field for the left-hander as Henry over the wicket to Head, and Head's thrashing, and it's going to head towards the third man fielder. That's Tim Robinson. They've taken 1. Robinson gets across to his left well, cuts it off and restricts the scoring to just a single. So 1 to Marsh, 1 to Head, and Australia 2 without loss. Team news for them, just the one change. Ben Dorshis goes out, Sean Abbott comes in. So Smithy, they've stuck with this powerful looking batting lineup at the top.
And they won't need them all, you wouldn't think. They won't need to bat down to Mitch Owen. We didn't really see much of Mitch Owen really the other night, did we? He was hardly on the field, but in terms of calling the game. But in all honesty, shouldn't really see too much of anyone below about 5.
Last ball of the owner. Henry bowls to Marsh. He's trying to swing the ball on the leg side. Takes it on the thigh. Heads to Duffy at gully, and there is no run. A very good first over in a 9-over-a-side contest. Just the 2 from it. Australia 2 without loss. If we go back to the toss, Michael Bracewell won the toss, elected to bowl, and this now 9 overs aside fixture due to the weather in the Bay of Plenty today. A lot of rain around. Thought we might be getting underway, well, at 8:15, didn't we? And then the rain came back, and here we are at 33 minutes past 9, and we're underway.
So we just a bit of speculation here as to the bowling restrictions. In other words, who can bowl what and how many overs they can bowl. So 9 overs suggests to me that 4 bowlers will be able to bowl 2 and 1 bowler will have to bowl 1. That would be the way it would be normally broken down.
Jacob Duffy bowling from the Papamoa Hills end, and is a inside edge from head, gives himself room, catches the inside edge, it flies to the left of wicketkeeper Seifert, and Australia have their first big barrel boundary. Bigger range, bigger deals. Australia 6 without loss.
Where do you bowl to Travis Head? I mean, there's a lot of luck involved in a 9-over game. A lot of luck. A lot of the skill element disappears because players are going to play in an even more aggressive fashion. So that's just bad luck from Duffy. It wasn't a bad delivery. It was there or thereabouts. Good first up delivery, and it's just a genuine inside edge that goes now. What's happened here? Something's happened in terms of the lights, perhaps.
Yeah, one of the towers has gone out. 2 of the towers have gone out that we can see outside our window. Tower number 5 and tower number 2 are out at the Bay Oval. Bit more drama, Smithy.
Well, they flash, and here they come back on now. They were flashing when the boundary was hit, and as if that's an effect or something, but they just didn't seem to come back quickly enough. So, okay, another little stoppage we've got out of the way.
Hopefully we don't lose any more overs due to lighting issues. Travis Head back in position as Jacob Duffy bowls to him, heaving this one square, and he's caught at point. Devon Conway diving forward, just didn't get enough bat on it, Travis Head, and Jacob Duffy has the first wicket. Travis Head goes. Australia 6 for 1 in the second over.
It's a pretty good catch this by Conway. It looks simple initially, but he's on the back foot because he thinks Head's got a lot more of that and timed it better. So it's a bit flat-footed, didn't quite know the strength of and the power on the shot. In the end, there was very little of it, and Conway had to dive forward and take a catch. There was no doubt about it. Head, as soon as he saw it, started to march off the ground. So it's a good wicket for New Zealand to get rid of a very dangerous player at 6 for 1.
Second delivery from Jacob Duffy in the second over. And Travis Head, no option but to throw the hands at it. Just didn't get enough of it. Chipped up towards Conway, diving forward to take the catch. 6 for 1 as Matt Short makes his way out into the middle. Great hitter, isn't he, Matt Short? Showed that on Wednesday evening.
Well, it's not ideal, obviously, a 9-over game because you know the game itself is robbed from of a lot of cricket. But you might as well get used to playing this because you just don't know in a World Cup situation in a place like India or Sri Lanka where they do have, believe it or not, they do have rain. You can get yourself into a World Cup situation where you have a game of cricket of this duration. So it is what it is. You practice what it is, and just in case, you'll have this one to fall back on.
Just joining us on Sport Nation, we have a 9-over-a-side game. New Zealand won the toss. Michael Bracewell, that was almost 2 hours ago, chose to bowl, and they're in the field. Duffy to the right-handed short, swings down the ground, doesn't time all of it as it just trickles out over the top of the 30-yard circle by a metre. Michael Bracewell cuts it off, and Matt Short takes 1, and the Australian score is 7 for 1.
We're going to see a lot of non-conventional cricket shots, to be perfectly honest. There's going to be a lot of just standing and delivering. So those that have come here in the hope they're going to see a lot of magnificent cover drives and little delicate shots are probably going to be a little bit hard done by in that regard. This is just going to be a hit-a-thon.
Deep backward square on the boundary and deep point on the offside. Duffy into the right-handed Marsh, and he plays one of those glorious shots down the ground. It was full, and he got all of it over the advertising hoarding for 6. 13 for 1 Australia.
Having said that, that was a beautiful cricket shot, and it was in the slot. It was a half volley. That's where you do not bowl to Mitchell Marsh. Matt Henry gave him nothing like that. You just simply cannot try and bowl full to Mitchell Marsh You've got to be just short of a length. You've got to get it up higher. You've got to get it up around his chest area or whatever. But you can't let him do that. Not with that field set.
Duffy in again to Marsh. Much shorter and wider on the offside. Signal from the umpire, but not a wide.
Well, Mitchell Marsh can't believe this. He absolutely cannot believe that this has not been called a wide. He's just standing there, hand on hip. We'll have a look from the sideline. He's looked straight out to the square leg umpire, who has pointed to the shoulder straight away. Not a happy captain. Interesting.
That off's gone back onto the boundary. Points come up. Here's Duffy to Marsh. It's full, and Marsh is swinging over extra cover. It'll pitch. Whether or not it'll go any further, it will not. Bracewell cuts it off from mid-off, and the scoring is restricted to 2. That ends the second over. Australia 15 for 1. Mitch Marsh 9, Matt Short 1. This is a 9 over a side. T20 International.
Again, you just can't bowl in that area, really. The fact that it pitched and it didn't run away is because of the ground conditions, and it's when the ball is coming from a height, it is still pretty soft in a lot of areas. So there could have been scope for the players to say it's too soft and too damp for us to actually go out there. But they've done well to do that. They really have. So fielding restrictions,
2.4.
4 more balls. And it's Sears. It might be drizzling a wee bit too.
It definitely is raining out in the centre of Bayo. We've had 2 overs. It's a 9 over a side game. Australia are 15 for 1. It's raining, but they're for now going to keep going. Sears over the wicket to the right-handed Short. Plays it up to mid-off. Bracewell comes up, fires it at the stumps. Ball ricochets and heads off into the square leg region. 1 run, 16 for 1. Everyone's looking at each other.
Umpires are looking at each other, and we've got an umpire having his first game tonight. And
Corey Black?
Yeah, Corey. And the unenviable situation now where even Marsh has he's gone sideways at the more experienced umpires, and now they're coming together, and I think the players will be heading off very shortly. It's drizzling, and that might be the coup de grace. It might be. Just so unfortunate. I mean, no one to blame. Everyone has tried their darndest to get cricket out there tonight. They really have. And they've just been beaten by the elements.
Ground staff racing out onto the centre of Bay Oval. Players, well, they're not sprinting off the ground, but there's a resignation around Bay Oval at the moment. It is coming up to 19 minutes to 10. They had to start at 1 minute past 10 for a 5 over a side game. So with the players leaving the field again, we are in for further reductions if that's not the end. 16 for 1 the score. Australia 2.1 deliveries bowled. As you say, Smithy, can't fault the effort of the ground staff, can't fault the effort of the teams and the hardy faithful that have stayed, but the weather gods just do not appear to be on our side tonight.
No, they don't. They absolutely do not. And it's early in the season, and some people will say, why are you playing cricket in October? Well, you just have to, because some seasons are governed by World Cups, and all schedules are thrown skill with, and that's exactly what's happened to New Zealand cricket in this. We're going to play this, we've got to play it now. I mean, England are going to be here in 2 or 3 weeks as well, playing some white ball cricket. Hopefully the weather will be a little bit better then, but you just don't know. The seasons, I think, anyway, for me, the seasons have changed a wee bit. I think you're probably more likely to get better periods of weather in April, May than you seem to be in September, October these days.
I think you're exactly right. It certainly has changed. Once upon a time, the idea of playing cricket in October was just not something you considered. It certainly is now. Once upon a time, you may have played cricket into April. May not so much now because it's a little warmer. So the news from Bay Oval is that the players have left the field was going to say again, but this is the first time we've seen them. So 2.1 overs is all we've seen. 16 for 1. Just watching some highlights of the very short amount of time we saw. We did see a lovely shot from Mitch Marsh. That's a positive, Smithy.
Well, it's a lovely shot over cover. We saw a wicket too for Jacob Duffy getting rid of Travis Head, but that's a gorgeous shot down the ground. Can't afford to bowl there to Mitchell Marsh. That's, if you learn anything out of this brief exercise tonight, they should have learned it the other night anyway, to be perfectly honest. Now, we want a break in the weather immediately to get the cricket back. The other thing is, Tom, we need a break in the weather to get to the car. And that's very, very important.
That is important because from our position here at the commentary box to your said car, Smithy, there is not a lot of cover.
There's not a lot of cover, and they won't let us out the gate immediately where the car is, because the gate is actually, it's not meant for people apparently. It could be opened and people could walk out of the gate, said gate, but it's not to be used. It's there for vehicle access only.
I also get the impression the person patrolling the said gate is not going to bend, regardless of the weather.
No.
So I don't think we're going to make any friends there.
Well, I gave him a bit of a barrage the other night, so I suppose I'll have to back up.
You will. The thoughts there of Ian Smith as the rain starts to really come down now at Bay Oval. We haven't got official confirmation of a cancelled game or a abandoned fixture, as they call them. Australia 16 for 1, 2.1 overs. That is all we have seen. And as we look across Bay Oval and towards some of the exit and entry points, the punters are flooding to the cars. They have seen the writing on the wall here. So while we wait,